So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing extremely well, and this is your very own mask code at this side. So in this video we are going to discuss the question longest substring without repeating characters. So what does the question demand from you? The question is like the heading is actually very clear. You have to return me a substring which has the greatest length, and that substring should not have repeating characters, right? Repeating characters. Okay, that is all the letters in this substring should be unique. There should be no duplicates, right? Okay, for the given example, p w w k e w, what should be the answer? Okay, so let us take a look at the all the substrings, right? So what are the potential substrings? So it will be p pw pww pwwk PWWKE and PWWKE, right? Okay. Another can be WWWWK, WWK and WWKE and WWKEW, right? Another set can be WWK, WKE, WKEW. Another one can be KE, KEW, right? I'm writing all the potential substrings, right? KEW, right? Another one can be E and EW, and last one can be only W, right? These are all the substrings possible for the given string. Let us check out which all fill in the parameter without repeating characters, right? Without repeating characters. So this is the potential, this is potential, this is not potential because W is occurring two times. Similarly, this is not potential, this is not potential, this is not potential. Okay. Talking about W, is it potential? Yes, it is potential. WW not potential, not, no, no. Talking about this W, yes, it is potential, 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 no, because W is occurring two times here. K potential, KE potential, KEW potential, KE potential, EW potential, W potential. Okay. So my answer is one of the circled ones. Okay. Now I have to find the biggest length, that is the greatest length. So you can see this is of length 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. So I am able to see that I have been getting greatest length as 3, and there are two substring part of it, W, KE and KEW. Now the question only asks me to return the length. So I just want the three answer. I don't care whether you take WK as my answer or KEW as my answer. So I will just return 3, right? Hope it was clear to you that what is your input and what is the expected output, right? I don't think there is any confusion right now. Okay, let us move to the approaches, right? So as usual, we will be discussing the brute force approach first. Now, whenever I say brute force, I will look down the question once again. I will look down the question once again, and I'm able to see a word something like substring. Okay, so whenever I encounter a word like substring or subarray, I usually take up the approach of nested loops. Nested loops. That is, use nested loops and find out all possible substrings. All possible substrings. How is it possible? So for the given word PWWKEW, like I did, I also use the same method in finding out all the substrings. What did I do? I started my pointer from here. I actually went from P to P, then P to W, then P to WW, then PWWK, etc., etc. And then I moved this pointer here. Then W, you can see this set. Then I moved this pointer here. This set was oriented from this. This set was oriented from this. E originated the last second set, and W originated the last set, which contained only one of the substring, right? So my nested loop concept works something like this: that I will use a for loop which will go from the first position up till the n-1th position, right? Okay, and then my J will go from I plus 1, or actually say I, from I up till n-1, that is the end. Okay, now what is my substring? What is my substring here? My substring is comprising I up till J, right? All the letters from I including J, right? From I to J including both of them. Okay, this is my substring. Now I will just use another loop. Suppose K equals to I up till J, and check whether the string contains the repeating subcharacters or not. String contains repeating characters or not. How can I see that? How can I see that repeating characters are present or not? I can use a map, I can use a set, multiple option. I can use a map, a set, or a simple visited array, right? Visited array, some kind of thing. That should not be a problem, right? Map, set, visited array. You can do anything to check if the characters are non-repeating or not. But is it an efficient solution? Is it an efficient solution? If we look at the time complexity, you can see this is running O of n time. This is running O of n time. This is running O of n time. So it is inevitably a time complexity of O of n cube. And because we are using something sort of this or this, we are using O of n space also. Not O of n, I will say it is a constant space because the letters are actually in the constant dimensions. 256 characters can be maximum in the given language, right? Okay, so actually this is an inefficient approach because of this O of n cube. Can we reduce it? Can we reduce it? Can we change it to O of n square by some means? I say yes. If I try to remove this loop, if this loop was not a part of my answer, I would definitely reduce it to O of n square. But how can I remove it? How can I remove it? So, if you look closely in the question P, W, W, K, E, W, let us look how was my previous approach working. My I was actually here. My J was actually here. I got my first substring as P. My J moved here. I got my second substring as PW. My J moved here. I got my third substring as PWW. Fourth substring as PWWK. Fifth as PWWKE. Second last as PWWKEW. So you can see I'm just adding my Jth character. Just adding my Jth character. So I can modulate my code to look something like this. That is, I'll say I will move my I from 0 up till n minus 1. That is, outer loop will remain same. But inside the outer loop, my first step will be to initialize a string as an empty string. Now, my j will move from I up till n minus 1. Same. Inner loop is actually also same. Now, I will say cur plus equals to s of j. What this will do is, this will add this sequentially. First it will be P, then PW, then PWW, then PWWK, PWWKE, PWWKEW, and rest. If all the iterations are done for the given I, my I will move here and my curve will again change to empty string. And I am getting all the things as I wanted. And I am actually getting the string. Rather than making the substring again, I am actually getting the string and I can use it to do an O n square complexity, right? Instead of taking cur plus for a string, I can use a map here also, right? Store the counts, right, etc. Okay, this should not be a problem, right? O of n square. The main problem arises, the main fun arises, not the problem, is when you have to look for the optimized approach. The optimized approach. And now I want you to pay full attention because this is going to require some mind, okay? So this question is actually a type of sliding window question. I hope some of you are already familiar with the concept, right? Let me write down the example test case. P, W, W, K, E, W, right? In the previous two examples, in the previous two approaches, we were using I and J to store the substring, right? My substring was from I to J, both inclusive, right? Okay. Same would occur here. What I will do, I will keep my start pointer here. I will keep my end pointer here. I will keep my start pointer here. I will keep my end pointer here. Now, my task is to, let me write it down. My task is to increment end, sorry. This is my end, right? This is my end, this is my start. Increment end until my substring is valid. See, what do I mean by this step? I say, see, is start to end. Is P a valid substring? Yes, P is a valid substring because it does not contain any repeating characters, right? I say increment your end. Take your end here. Now my substring becomes PW because it is comprised between start to end, right? So start is actually occurring like a I and end is actually occurring like a J. So my substring becomes PW. Is it possible? Yes, PW is possible. Increment it. End. Okay. Is PWW a possible substring? Is PWW a possible substring? No, PWW is not a possible substring because W is actually occurring twice. There is a duplicate element and I cannot treat it as a valid substring. So what do I do? What do I do? See, this substring is not valid. That means some part of it is not valid. I will increment my start. I will increment my start. Okay. If I increment my start, I come back here. I'll see my substring reduces to WW. Is it a valid substring? No, it is not a valid substring. I will have to increment my start again. My start will come here. Okay. My string becomes W. Is it a valid substring? Yes, string is valid. Okay. I will move my end again. My string becomes WK. Is it valid? Yes, it is valid. Again move your end. My string becomes WKE. Is it valid? Yes, it is valid. My string becomes WKEW. Is it valid? No, it is not valid. Again, increment your start. So my start comes here. Is it valid? Is it valid, guys? Yes, it is valid. So what do? I increment my end, and when I increment my end, I see the string end of the string is reached. And if you are able to see, I was able to see WKE as one of my potential answers. I was able to see WKE as my potential answers, and that was my answer as third. And that was my answer as third, right? So let me write down what I am trying to do, right? Let me write down what I am trying to do. That would make it easier for you to understand. P W W K E W, right? I say I put both of my pointers, that is my start and my end, at zero index. At zero index. My loop will work until my end doesn't reaches the end of the string. Okay, my end pointer, that is my right pointer, does not move to the end point, that does not meet the end of the string. That till then I will process. Now, what will I do? I'll say while end is less than n. Now, while end is less than, why I'm using the same condition again and again. Let us see how. Why? Because I want to break the inner loop also, right? Sometime. So, if s of end is not already occurred, is not already part of substring, is not already part of substring, I will do n plus plus. I will increment my end. That is, my end was here, my start was here. I will increment my end. Okay. If s of n is not already part of substring. Okay. And then I will n plus plus. Okay. Else, if it is part of substring, that means I will have to break out of this loop in which I am incrementing my end. I will have to break out of this loop in which I am incrementing my end because the substring I have in hand is not valid. Else, break. Right? Simple. Up till then, it is very simple, right? Now, I will start for the start. Okay. I will say while my start is less than end, my start is less than end, and one more condition, that if my s of start is equals to s of end. Now what do I mean by this? I am saying if my start and if my starting character, that is my character at this position, and my character at this position is okay, if they are same, that means if I remove this pointer at start, if I like what I was doing is P W W K E W, right? My end reached here and my start was here, and I realized when my end reached here, P W W is not a valid substring. So I break out of the first loop. I started incrementing my start. So my start comes here. Okay, start comes here. I see it is still not valid, but if I remove this W, this will become a valid substring. Why? Because this W is actually equal to this W. The problem occurred when I was trying to insert this W into this substring, right? So if I remove this W, which is equals to, how did it recognize this W? Because start and end have same characters. So if I remove this W, my problem would be solved. Okay, so my loop will work until my start equals to end, right? Okay, and then I will say remove s of start from substring, right? This is my pseudo step, and then I will just increment my start and I will break, right? So what is actually happening? P W W K E W. my end is here, my start is here. I take a variable answer to store the answer, which is currently carrying 0, right? I see my P, I add it to the, where any visited array, right? P. Okay, so P is my substring right now. Okay, what is the length of the substring? 1. Is it greater than 0? Yes, it is greater than 0. So it will become 1. My end comes here. The string becomes PW. Is it greater than 1? Yes. 2. E comes here. Is it a valid substring? No, it is not a valid substring. So I will not increment the length. My substring is PWW. I will not increment the length and I will move my start pointer forward. Is WW a valid substring? No, WW is not a valid substring. So I will say nothing matters. Remove W also, right? Remove W also. So my string becomes, my start comes here. My string becomes only W, right? And I see 1 is actually not greater than 2. So my answer will remain 2 only. I move my end here. Okay. Now string becomes WK. Is WK a valid substring? Yes, it is a valid substring, but the length is 2, so I will not have to change it. My end moves again here and my string becomes WKE. My string becomes WKE. Is it a valid substring? Yes, it is a valid substring and the length is also greater, so I will change it to 3. I will move my end here and it becomes WKEW. Is it a valid substring? No, it is not a valid substring. I will not change it to 4 and I will increment my start. My start comes here, I remove this W and I see it is a valid substring, so I will again move my end pointer and my end pointer comes here, and whenever my end pointer comes here, I will end my loop and my answer comes out to be 3. And my answer comes out to be 3. Hope you're clear with that. Hope you're clear with that. Let's look at the pseudocode really fast, right? Let us try to write it down. Okay. So to keep an account of the visited letters, I will use a map. You can use a set too. Okay. No one is stopping from that. Okay. So my code would look something like, I will take start as 0. I will take end as 0, right? I will initialize my answer with 0 because I want the maximum value, right? I will say, I will make a map which will map char to int because I want the character count, right? I want the characters count. Okay. Now, while end is less than n, right? My right pointer does not reach the end. Okay. If, now I will use another loop, that is while my end is less than n. If map does not contain that character, that means I'm on the right path and I can increment my substring, right? MP of s end plus plus, right? End plus plus. For those who are not able to understand, please wait, we will be dry run this code also, then only then I will proceed to the coding area, right? Okay, n plus plus. But if this condition is not true, that is my character at end position was already in the substring, that means I will have to break out. That is break, right? Okay. After this loop, I will have to increment my answer. Why? Because when this loop ends, I will have a perfect substring. So my answer becomes max of answer with end minus start. Why end minus start? Because that will give me the length of the substring that I have, right? Now, I will use another loop, that is while my start is less than end and my MP of Sn. That means until this character which is present at end position in the substring is still present in the substring, right? I will have to increment my start. So first I will decrement that value from the array, that the substring, sorry, and I will increment my start. This is just for removal of that character which is present at start from the current substring, right? And after this I will again say answer equals to max of answer and minus start. For those of you who are not able to understand why, this is a precaution step. You can also skip it, the answer will remain same. Okay, the answer will remain same. Now, after this loop ends, I will just return answer. Now, I believe that many of you are not able to understand what the hell just happened here, right? For that, we will be doing a dry run, right? Our string is P, W, W, K, E, W. The indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The loop says my start is here, my end is here, right? Okay. It says my answer is currently 0 and my map does not contain anything, Okay. I'll come here, I'll see while end is less than n. Yes, end is less than n, obviously. This is also true. if MP of Sn equal to 0, yes, P is not in the map, so MP of Sn is equals to 0. I will say increment it, okay, map contains P, n plus plus, n comes here, okay. Now, after this loop will again recognize, okay, P, map contains W now, and after that n comes here. Now, I will see that after this comes, at this position, it is saying that if MP of Sn is not equal to 0, yes, MP of Sn is not equal to 0, I will break out. Okay, I break out. My end is actually here, that is at position 2. My start is at position 0. Let me remove them, right? And now I say answer equals to max of answer n minus start. For those of you who are not able to understand why, you can see my end is at W2, my start is at 0. So 2 minus 0 is actually 2, right? And the current substring that I accounted correct is PW. So answer should be 2, right? So answer converted to 2. Now moving to the below loop. While start is less than n, obviously true. And MP of Sn, that is this character is still true. This character is still present in the map. What do I have to do? I will have to decrement it. So my P goes, my start comes here. Then my W goes, my start comes here. My start comes here. Okay. Now after this, answer equals to maximum of answer n minus start, that is 0. Obviously I don't have any, this substring is gone, my current substring is not with me, right? My current substring is 0. Okay, I will again go into the current loop, right? And I will see, I will add W first, and then I will add AK first, then I will add E first, and after adding E, when I move here, I see that W is still occurring. So I will break out of the loop and I will update my answer with 3 because of WKE, right? Because of WKE. And then again, that proceeding, I will have to remove this W and move my start here. And then I will move my end here and my answer will turn out to be 3. No problem, guys. No problem. I hope this is very clear to you. Now, why did we do such a complicated approach? This is not complicated actually. If you are able to understand it, this is not complicated. Very easy approach. But why are we doing it? We are doing it because this is giving us a time complexity of O of n. If you see it clearly, my end is only reaching this, right? My start does not require, like it can be O of 2n, but still it is very much better than O of n square or O of n cube, right? And what is the space? What is the space? Space is actually the same, O of 1, right? No problem, guys. Let us try to move it to the coding section. Please, if you have any doubts in any approach, put the timestamp and tell me you have this doubt and I will surely help you out. Okay, let us try to move to the coding area now. So there is not much to tell in the coding area. I already presented you the code in the form of a pseudo code there. I will just jot it down here. So first we incremented, we told our start as 0 and our end as 0 and our answer as 0, right? After that we initialize a map, if I'm not wrong. So unordered map, which is mapping char to int, right? Unordered map it is. Char to int. Let us name it as MP. Now, my int n also I will require the length of the string. So s dot length it is. Now while my end is less than n, that is I'm in the string right now. Now while my end is less than n, what do? I say if MP of s of n equals to 0. That is my current substring does not have the character present at the end position. I will do MP of s of n plus plus and end plus plus. Else, if that is present, I will not try to duplicate it. I will say break. Okay, break out of the loop. My answer will change to maximum of current answer with end minus start. Right now, moving to the another loop where I am incrementing the start so as to remove the duplicate present at the s of n. So while my start is less than n and MP of Sn is still equals to 1. That means I have not decremented up till now. I will do MP of s of start minus minus, sorry, and I will say start plus plus, and I will say again my answer will change to maximum of answer with n minus start. Now this, I told you, this is just a precaution step. You can try to skip it. I just put it for the precautions just to get a correct answer. Return answer. Let us try to run it now. Hope it would run fine, and you can see the results too in some amount of time. Okay, so it is showing accepted for the sample test cases. Let us try it for backend test cases also. And if you are new here, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button as much as possible and increase its reach, right? You can see the accepted and Thank you for watching, and we'll meet tomorrow with a new question, with a new energy. And okay, thank you. Have a nice day.